Hello guys, my name is Sophia. This story is about my greedy mother-in-law, Sally. She's my late husband's mother, although I don't like calling her that. She never deserved the title of a mother. If you think I'm being unfair about this, you need to hear my story. I met Jared when I was in college. We were in some same classes and hit it off from the very beginning. We had some common interests and hobbies that tied us together. Back then we were both struggling. I had a daughter, Alice, from my teen years whose father terminated his rights. While my parents did help me out with her, I was working 2 jobs to get through college and take care of my child. It was a very difficult time, but I knew there was no other way. Jared also had financial troubles of his own. His mother kicked him out of the home when he turned 18. She told him that he is an adult now and should not expect any money from her again. Jared begged his mother to house him at least for a little while. What little money he had made from his teen years was actually taken away by Sally because she thought she deserved it for raising him. So Jared was penniless when he was kicked out. He had to also work 2 jobs to pay tuition and make some savings. Our joint troubles also brought us closer over time. We had to work hard to balance our relationship and responsibility. As a result, we became a strong pair and were admired by everyone. We graduated college and I joined a job. Jared, on the other hand, wanted to start his own company. We sat down to think things over. While his strategies were great, money would be tight, so he decided to move in with his mum. She had been pestering him for money and he agreed to pay her if she lets him live there. Thing went south pretty quickly from there. While Jared was living there, I was rarely allowed to visit. Sally said, "My son is already low on cash. He doesn't have enough money to have a girlfriend, especially one that comes with a big burden." Excuse me, my daughter and I are not burdens. I earn and provide for my daughter by myself. That is exactly why I couldn't take in Jared even if I wanted to. Exactly. If you had adopted out your brat, I didn't need to have my son freeload on me. He would have been out of my hair. Mom, I don't freeload on you. I pay you a lot of money in rent and even talk over your debts. It's not like you let me live for free. Besides, Alice is not a burden. Don't talk like that about a child. Why won't I? Children are burdens. Look at you, Jared. I thought I would be rid of you when you turn 18. Now you are here depleting my income. Stop talking to your son like that. He is literally paying to stay here. I deserve the money. I am his mother, and he needs to pay me back for raising him. This is just an example of what Sally was like when we were struggling. At times, I wanted to take away Jared from her clutches and keep him away from her toxic behaviour. However, Jared didn't want to go. He said that even if he left, his mother still won't stop asking for money. His mental health was in shambles. I was worried about him. This went on for a year before Jared finally gave in and moved in with me. I said, "Listen to me, Jared. You can't stay at your mum's anymore. You're going into depression and I can see it. I know you are barely saving money for your business. I know you skip meals to make money. This has to stop. Move in with me." I want to, Sophia, but I don't want to be a burden to you. I'm already shuffling jobs and struggling to invest in my business. I think I have to give up my dream. Absolutely not. Jared, listen to me. Move in with me. I will take a side job to help us. You don't have to pay anything. I'll cover the rent and everything. You just focus on your business and you use your paycheck on it. After a lot of back and forth, Jared finally agreed. He moved in with me, much to Sally's disappointment. When Jared told her about moving out, she said, "Oh, so you're abandoning your mother to pay for Sophia and her brat? How could you do this to me? I am your blood. I gave birth to you, and you are betraying me for people who aren't even your blood." Mum, even if you gave birth to me, you have failed as a parent. You never thought twice before financially abusing me and cutting off help when I turned 18. I've already wasted enough money on you. I should have seen you don't want me to succeed. Your stupid business will never become a reality. Just because I give you a house, you started to think you deserve everything in this world. Once you leave, it will teach you what it's like outside. Then I will throw you out when you come begging. Yes, that's what she thought of him. Sally thought Jared deserved to be shackled to her for life. However, I wasn't going to let that happen. I promised Jared I will help him succeed. After 2 years of immense struggle, Jared's business reached great heights. I won't reveal the name of the company, but he did make it big. Me, Jared and Alice also became closer and developed a strong bond. Alice especially formed a strong bond with Jared. She looked up to him and considered him family. Jared also embraced Alice as his own child. Once we were settled enough with a good nest egg, he proposed to me. He told Alice that he wanted to adopt her. Alice, who never had a father figure, was already considering Jared as her dad, so the adoption took place soon and we got married a year later. When Jared informed Sally about the engagement and adoption, she said, No, you can't marry Sophia. If you do, she needs to get rid of her brat daughter. There is no way you are adopting her daughter. Why? What makes you think my daughter needs to go? You have some nerve to expect me to abandon my daughter. Mum, I love Alice. She is my daughter at heart. All I want to do is make it legally true as well. There is no way I want her to go away from us. She is not your blood. She is not a child and never will be. You need blood heirs for your company. They are not good enough. You should find someone who doesn't have children. Mum, you are going too far. This is none of your business. We are only informing you out of courtesy. What do you mean this is not my business? I am your mother, and my opinion is important to you. I know what is best for you. You don't get to have an opinion on who I marry. I'm not going to budge anyway. I am marrying Sophia and adopting Alice. That's final. You will regret this when they end up using you for money. I can't believe Sophia made you raise someone else's child. By that point, we knew that making her understand would be completely useless, so we chose to reserve our dignity and walk away. I did feel sad and insecure about what Sally said. When we went back home, I took Jared aside and said, Jared, are you sure about me and Alice? I don't want you to feel pressured into anything. You know I can't drop Alice for anyone. I will understand if you choose to leave. Are you serious? I was the one who insisted on proposing to you and adopting Alice. I thought about everything, Sophia. You and Alice are my family. I would choose this family over anyone else any time. I'm sorry for offending you. Sally's words did get to me a bit. Don't worry, Sophia. I can understand you are anxious. I heard enough today. We will be in low contact with her from now on. It's not like she's the best mum in the world anyway. So we decided not to have Sally around as much. She did complain a lot that Jared was moving away from her and alienating her. She was also not pleased when we didn't include her in the wedding. She thought she should have a special role to control and plan everything. Sally said, It's bizarre how you have never included me in anything. I am experienced and wise, with much better taste than yours. You should be taking my opinion. Why the hell would I take your suggestion for our wedding? I am the mother of the groom. I deserve some respect. Your bad expenses are draining my son dry anyway. Someone needs to stop you. Yes, the mother of the groom who disapproves of the wedding. Mum, this is our wedding. I don't think we need to take permission from you. If you keep being this overbearing, I would have to uninvite you. Sally did throw a fit on this comment, but managed to keep it together for the wedding. She did show up in a white dress and tried to imitate me. Thankfully, I remained calm and didn't make a fuss. Instead, she received so many stink eyes from our guests that she had to go and change. After we got married, Sally doubled down on Jared. She demanded money from him and tried to convince him to leave me. She never missed any opportunity to criticize our lives and tell Jared that he made a mistake. We did offer olive branches, but she refused every time. It all came to a head when we invited her to Alice's 8th birthday. She did show up, but without a gift. When Alice ran to her calling her grandma, she said, Ew, don't call me grandma. I am not your grandma. But you are Dad's mother. You are my grandma. Absolutely not. My son Jared is not your dad. He only lets you call that because he pities you. He won't be your dad when he has a child of his own. Mum, what is wrong with you? Why would you say that? I said the truth, Jared. She needs to know. Besides, I won't let anyone call me grandma if they are not my biological grandchildren. This brat is just adopted and not your real child. How dare you insult my daughter? Today is her birthday and you managed to upset her in the worst way possible. That's it, Mum. I've had enough of your behaviour. Get out and don't ever come back. We are going no contact with you. I was busy calming my crying daughter when Jared kicked her out. We were embarrassed when everything happened in front of the guests. However, they were pretty helpful and did their best to make Alice happy again. Jared also repeatedly assured Alice that he would never leave or forget her. After this incident, we went indefinitely and had no contact with Alice. She did fight with Jared about cutting her off, but didn't care about us as usual. To be honest, I was happy I would never have to deal with her again. We went back to being the happy family we always wanted to be. However, after many years, life hit us. Jared ended up having aggressive lung cancer. It was diagnosed too late, and we only had a few months left. He was miserable and in pain. I and Alice were beside him at all times. Alice had just graduated and immediately came back to be with her dad. I did tell Sally about the situation to see if she wanted to see him one last time. However, she only checked in once a week and didn't even come to see him. One day, when I was visiting Jared alone, he said, "I'm afraid Mom is planning something. She keeps asking me about my company and assets. She's starting to get greedy again. I can't believe this woman. She is already hounding you about assets. How can a mother be so cruel?" "I'm used to this, Sophia. It doesn't bother me anymore. What bothers me is you and Alice being harassed by her after my death. I've been thinking about this for a while. It's keeping me up at night. Don't worry, Jared. I have the perfect plan to teach her a lesson. You take care of your health and I will tell you what we can do." Sadly, about 2 months after our conversation, Jared passed away. I and Alice were devastated, and frankly speaking, none of us have been the same. We had to arrange the funeral and tell everyone in a very short time. It all felt very surreal to me. I also invited Sally with the last bit of hope that she will grieve her son and accept her mistakes. She was his mother after all. Sally did show up to the funeral. I thought she had finally come to her senses and was there to grieve for her son. However, her motives became very clear soon. She walked up to me and said, "There you are, Sophia. Just so you know, I am here to tell you that I will take over Jared's company." "Excuse me, what are you talking about?" "Alice cannot inherit the company or his assets. She is not his biological child. His company should go to someone who shares his blood. Only people from his bloodline deserve his company." "You are a vile woman, Sally. Even if Alice is not his daughter, Jared loved her like his own. You don't get to come and disregard their relationship. Everyone knows how close they were." "That happened only because you and your daughter brainwashed him. There is no way he loved Alice like his own. Blood always comes first. She should never get the company." "Is that right, Sally? Then who should get all his assets? Tell me." "I am Jared's mother. We share the same blood. It was I who worked hard to raise him. You two don't deserve anything. It was I who stood by him when he established his company, so I should be the one who gets everything." "You are nothing but a delusional witch. You never supported your son and kicked him out when he was 18. Then you forced him to pay your debts when he was struggling to establish the company." "Well, those things don't matter. The truth is that I was there and you were not, so all of this will belong to me. Just wait until the will is read. I can't wait to join as the new CEO." That's when I started to smile a little. My late husband was not even in the grave, and Sally was already dreaming to be a CEO. Sally thought she could just show up after years and whisk away my husband's company. The company he made with his blood, sweat and tears. Let's also ignore the fact that she is completely incapable of handling company this big. The freaking audacity of this woman to think she can just take away someone's property is mind-blowing. I knew making a scene and shouting at her won't accomplish anything. There were lots of people around, and I wasn't brought up to act like a bad woman. Besides, it was Jared's funeral, and I wanted it to be peaceful, so I calmly told Sally, "I see you have come prepared. You sure have made your plans quite well in advance. However, I think you might need some assistance from Alice." "What are you talking about? I am a grown woman who comes from experience. I don't need the help of a bratty child." "You might want to rethink that, Sally. Here is her business card. I think you will change your mind once you talk to her." "Fine, give me the card. Wait, what does this card say? No. The reason for her sudden change in tune was that she finally saw what was written on the business card. "Well, you see, Sally will never become the CEO of my husband's company. That's because Jared already made Sophia the CEO and transferred the company to her name before he died. When he was in the hospital, we talked about our issues with Sally and unanimously decided on this. Sally didn't know any of it. She said, No, this can't happen. Alice is not the CEO. She can never be the CEO. That brat is not fit to have such a high position. Only I deserve this company. And you know this because you have been such a good grandparent, right? You have some nerve criticizing and judging my daughter when you haven't even had a relationship with her. I always knew you and your daughter would ruin my son. Now you have managed to lay your hands on his assets. I have already hired an expensive lawyer. He will crush you in court. The judge will agree that only the Blood family can inherit Jared's assets. Sally said that and left, but not before making a few threats. She didn't even wait for Jared's funeral to be over. I didn't care, though. I knew she would be back begging for help. I and Alice got through the funeral and went back to our home. Even when my heart was heavy, I was satisfied that I was able to protect Jared's company from his greedy mother. I kept his promise and took care of his legacy. There was no way I would allow Sally to snatch his assets and enjoy his hard work. As I predicted, Sally showed up at our house in a well. Apparently, her lawyer had told her to try and settle things out of court. No lawyer in their right mind would want to fight this out, even if he knew Sally is entitled to nothing. However, Sally was convinced she deserved something, if not all. She said, I'm here so that we can settle things out of court. I don't want to pressure you since you two are still grieving. We can just consult with each other and find a solution. There is no need to consult anything, Sally. We already have a decision. We are not giving you a cent. You can go through with the courts. Now, you have to think rationally. I'm doing this for your benefit. Let's just discuss things. That's where all three of us will get something. There is no need for that. Dad already decided what will be left to whom. If he wanted anything for you, it would have been in the will. He already divided everything when he was alive. I'm sure there has been some mistake. I am his mother and should get some assets. You have some interesting dreams in your head, Sally. I don't know how to make this any clearer. You will not get anything, and neither are you entitled to anything. We'll see you in court if you insist on fighting us. Look, I already spent a lot of money on a lawyer. I simply can't afford to go to court. I'll go into debt. Please just sign over something so that I can retire and have a comfortable life. I deserve this much for raising your father. You don't deserve anything, Sally. You are just a nasty old lady who wants lots of money. You never even visited Dad when he was withering away in pain. Now you have come begging for help. How can you say that? I am your grandmother. You cannot do this to me. Don't make me laugh, Sally. You always told me an adopted child or stepchild will never be your grandchild. We never had a relationship with your decision. You are no one to me. Now that you have your answer, I think it's time to leave. Don't ever think about pestering us again. Next time we will call the police and press charges for harassment. I and Alice then kicked Sally out of the home. We didn't care where she went or who helped her. She needed to understand that her tantrums won't get her anywhere. The extended family refused to help her out as well. Her lawyer's fees were piling up, and she was getting ongoing debt. When the court date finally came, the judge laughed her out of court. She finally understood that she had no leg to stand on. Last I heard, Sally was back in her small town and barely getting by. It doesn't look like she will ever retire in this lifetime. Her decision to hire an expensive lawyer was stupid and reckless. She ended up losing her little savings to pay his fees. No one wants to keep in touch with her anymore. She's alone and miserable. Meanwhile, my daughter is prospering at the company. Everyone there already likes her since she is an intelligent girl. Since joining the office, she has moved in with her fiancé and is looking forward to a wedding next year. I, on the other hand, am trying to move on and stay strong for Alice. Losing Jared was hard, and I don't think I will ever fully recover from this. However, I'll be here for my daughter and to keep the memories of Jared alive. I'm sure he is smiling down at us and having a good laugh about Sally's stupidity.